Morning everyone, and welcome to day 4, I believe, of the day 4 of the Suffolk Coast Path. So we've woken up about 6 a.m. this morning here on the beach, somewhere between Sizewell and Thorpeness. We've nearly got everything packed away. We just really got the tent. I've got my washing line out again. It's absolutely working a treat. I've just managed to wash my hair and my beard. I bought some small containers of like Head and Shoulders and my beard stuff that I have to clean it with. And yeah, 500 ml of cold water chucked over me, and I feel fresh and clean, which is nice because I'm really starting to stink. So I've had a proper wash. I feel great. We've had breakfast already. We had some more adventure foods, Nusper muesli. I think that is my favourite breakfast by them now. And we had a hot drink each. We run out of gas, so no more gas stove. I've got 2 bottles of meths. That'll probably only last us really for 1 camp. So we've found in Aldborough, which is the next town along on the coast, that there's an electrical shop, and I called them up and I said, do you sell methylated spirits, like the purple methylated spirits? They went, yep, we do different size bottles. I went, perfect. So we're going to walk into Aldborough and then pick up the coast path again. So we're going to get some fish and chips later from there, and we're going to pick up some meths and a few more bits of food, stuff we can cook in camp. Maybe pick up a couple of little ciders as well. Today we need to do section 5, I believe, which is Thorpeness to Snape Maltings. It's 6.5 miles. We'll be heading inland. I reckon tonight we're probably going to have to try and wild camp somewhere on the River Ald, where it starts becoming estuarine, just before Orford. So we're going to need to get water at either Snape Maltings or Haugen. We pass through there as well. I'm still super proud of my washing line. If my mum could see me now, so domesticated. It's great. Dawn's quite pleased as well. She was like, that is genius, that washing line.
Yeah, my knickers on it last night.
Tent's gonna get packed away, and then we're heading off. Enough talking, let's get walking. Hair of the dog. So we've got the Adnams Copper House dry gin and tonic. It's not that bad. It's not got a lot of flavour to it. It's very bitter. I've had worse gin and tonics. Can we try a bit? See what Dawn thinks. I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Oh, that's quite nice.
Yeah, it's quite refreshing actually.
Alright, yeah.
Yeah, out of 10.
Yeah, about 6.5, that one.
6.5 from Dawn. Yeah, I can see why it's won awards, definitely. I'm just not a gin and tonic person, but I don't mind it. Thorpeness was once simply a tiny fishing hamlet, but in 1910 the wealthy Scottish barrister Glencairn Stuart Ogilvie, who had bought up an entire area between Sizewell, Aldborough, Leiston and Aldringham, started to develop the village as a private holiday resort. Many holiday homes were built in mock Jacobean and Tudor styles, along with a country club, golf course, almshouses and an artificial boating lake called the Mere. The creation of the Mere was inspired by a regular visitor to the holiday village, J.M. Barrie, and some of its locations and landing stages take their names from Peter Pan, Barrie's most famous work. The Mere serves as the location for the Thorpeness Regatta in August, about the same time as the Aldborough Carnival held just down the road.
The village's most notable building, the oddly elevated House in the Clouds, came about when it was decided that the village water tower would be an eyesore, and so was clad with wood to disguise it as a dwelling.
We've got into Thorpeness, next to the mere man-made boating lake, and there's a little tea room. So I had to get a second breakfast, another sausage and bacon bat, some chips, an apple juice, and I got Dawn, some Viennese swirl biscuits and a latte.
Yep.
Stage 5, Thorpeness to Snape Maltings. This stage of the Suffolk Coast Path involves an enjoyable deviation away from the coast, a necessary detour given the presence of the wide estuary of the River Ald. Leaving Thorpeness, the route skirts the upmarket resort of Aldborough, before heading west through woodland and heath to reach Snape Maltings, a few miles south of the small market town of Saxmundham. Much of the route follows what is known as the Sailor's Path between Aldborough and Snape Warren.
So the Suffolk Coast Path leaves this track here and heads across the road and up towards the Red House, which was where Benjamin Britten lived and died with his life partner Peter Pears. Now we're not going to take that route because we need to head into Aldborough to resupply and get fish and chips, so we're going to head along here. But once we're in Aldborough, we can pick up the main road and the Suffolk Coast Path joins back up with that, so we're not going to miss out much.
The English composer Benjamin Britten, although originally from Lowestoft further north, spent many years as a resident of Aldborough, setting up the still thriving Aldborough Festival in 1948. His opera Peter Grimes, which used a libretto adapted from the work of local poet George Crabbe, concerned itself with the tragic life of a fictitious Aldborough fisherman. Britten died at home in Aldborough in 1976 and is buried in the churchyard of the town's St Peter and St Paul's Church alongside his life partner, the tenor Peter Pears.
So this is the huge scallop memorial sculpture, tribute to Benjamin Britten, the famous composer that lived here in Aldborough, and it reads, "I hear those voices that will not be drowned."
Aldborough, now a fashionable and rather upmarket resort, was once an important fishing and boat building centre at the mouth of the River Ald. Like many places along this stretch of coastline, the town has for many years suffered from serious erosion. Much of the old town has been lost over the centuries. The ancient timber-framed Moot Hall that houses the town museum and stands by the shore was once located in the town centre. Despite its rather posh atmosphere and connections with the world-famous Aldborough Music Festival, the town is also famous for its fish and chips, with one of the family-run shops in the town being considered among the best in the country. Freshly caught fish can be bought at very reasonable prices from the fishermen's huts on the shingle beach.
That electrical store has just saved our life. Not only did they do like the 250ml bottles of methylated spirits, but when we asked about the gas, screw thread gas cartridges for £5.
Oh, and you've got pegs.
And
You're washing.
we've got pegs as well for washing. Like literally, that sort of out the gas. I couldn't believe. So grateful.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so if you need camping supplies, like a few little things like that, and you're doing the coast path, check out that shop. So we're sat in the back courtyard of the White Hart pub, which is an Adnams pub on the High Street in Southwold, and next door is Aldborough Fish and Chips. And what I really like is they've got a good arrangement going whereby if you buy a drink in the pub, you can eat your fish and chips from the fish and chip shop next door. So they're both kind of helping each other out with business. You just wouldn't get that in Essex. Like, there'd be arguments. It's just chilled out here. Dawn's just found a bone in her fish. I did find a hair on top of mine, and it wasn't one of Dawn's. But the person that served the spouting was bald, so that's the only bad thing I've got to say about them. But most of the time, all the time, it's always really good. It's like Five Guys. It's never disappointing, this fish and chips.
Okay, we are leaving Aldborough now. We've picked up some supplies, some food. We've also got gas, meths. Yeah, we should have enough food for the next couple of days at least, along with what we already had. That's about it really, yeah. So I'm going to follow the main road out of Aldborough to pick up the coastal path again. After an eternity of the most boring road walking ever, we've left Aldborough. It's 1.5 miles away. We've got Snape Warren 2.5 miles, and Snape Maltings, where we want to get to, is 4.5 miles away. Here's a little bit about the Sailor's Path. Quite an interesting little story about it actually. So it says, history is at your feet. This quiet track is many hundreds of years old and countless people have passed this way over the centuries. Running between Aldborough and Snape Maltings, the Sailor's Path is so called because it was once a popular route for seafarers. It offered Snape residents easy access to Aldborough, a thriving centre for fishing, boat building and of course smuggling. Today the path is a beautiful and peaceful route, rich in wildlife, taking you over heath, through woods and beside farmland. It provides glorious views across the Ald estuary. There are many places of interest to explore, including Snape Maltings, Snape Warren and Aldborough itself. So we are going to be following this now. I'm also next, as Dawn mentioned, Aldborough Golf Club. Founded in 1884, Aldborough Golf Club has 2 courses enjoying views of the River Ald. The 18-hole course is a rare maritime heathland renowned for its gorse-lined fairways. Why build a golf course there then? Wildlife abounds, with the course home to a stunning variety of animals and plants. The club has won numerous awards for land management to benefit the environment. Okay, they've justified it there then. Snape Village. Snape is a picturesque village in the Ald Valley. Snape Maltings hosts shops, plus places to eat and drink, and the Snape Concert Hall, home to the Aldborough Music Festival. Yeah, anyway, that's where we're heading. Enough talking and let's get walking.
5:30 and we're arriving at Snape Maltings here, one of the highlights of the Suffolk Coast Path and, well, Suffolk in general. So this is the only point you can cross the River Ald in front of us, so you have to come all the way inland to actually get to this bridge to cross. It was nice and cool in the shade of the trees, so there's a little pub here. We're going to stop for a drink and get some water and then press on, but that is the end of stage 5 of the Suffolk Coast Path. It's just gone 6 PM and we've just left the pub. I can't remember what it was called. Was it the Plough and Sail or something? Plough and Sail's a good guess. And we're just going past the ornate, impressive looking buildings of Snape Maltings, and we've decided we're not going to get to our wild camp destination tonight that we planned, but I've got a backup plan, and I've only camped there once before. It's Haugen Cliff Picnic Ground, and it's on the River Ald, and it's about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from here. So we're going to see what it's like, because I've not been there for a few years, and they may well have made it a bit more difficult to camp there and stuff overnight. So yeah, that is the plan, and then we can do the Orford Loop tomorrow. Enough talking, let's get walking. Okie dokie, well, we've arrived, as you can see, at Haugen Cliff picnic site, and it's pretty dark now, but the River Ald is out there. We've got a nice view of it. It says that they shut the height barrier, 6'7", at dusk. I'd say this is at least dusk, so I don't think they're going to be closing it. So we are going to start setting up because it has got chilly. We found a little spot next to this bench. It sort of opens at 9 AM. We want to get up earlier anyway and get walking because we've got a lot of miles to do tomorrow, so we'll be sort of getting to sleep early, getting up for 6 AM again, getting a tent packed away so it don't look like we've camped here, having some food, sat on the bench, and then aim to be leaving here 9 AM at the latest to get to at least Orford. For now though, we're just going to get a tent set up. I don't think anyone's going to come and move us on now. Get some food on because we're both hungry and a bit chilly and tired, of course. We've been helping ourselves to a couple of these Adnams Wild Wave Blush ciders again. I think it's going to be the cider of the trip, and we rated it, what, a 9 out of 10? Yep, so we've necked a couple of them. We've got one of those 0.5% Wild Wave original ones as well. This strange concoction here is the result of a tin of Heinz beans and sausages and a sachet of Idahoan instant mashed potatoes, which was lovely until we added the sausages and beans, and I think it's gone a bit runny and murky, but Dawn seems to be liking it. Just a nice cheap budget camping food, really. We're going to save our last few dehydrated meals for later on in the trip when there's like no shops or anything around, so we thought we'd do this for tonight. We've got the tent set up. I'll just quickly show you. Oh, I've got a hot chocolate down there as well. It is a bit chilly tonight. The wind's died down though, actually, so let's get the light on. There's the tent again, the OEX Phoxx II version 2. We've got all that set up and we've kept the light switched off inside it, but all the stuff set up inside ready for us to crawl into bed and sleep. Now, because it's Haugen Cliff, it is on a slope going down towards the river, so that end is going down the hill. We've basically put some bags containing tent bags and sleeping bags, things like that, under our feet in the foot box. I might bring my rucksack in and stick that under our feet so we're not kind of sliding down. It will sort of level us up. We've been in a tent discussing what our plan of action is going to be tomorrow. So if we do the Orford Loop, which starts about here, it's 13.5 miles. Get up early, get as much miles done as we can, get to Orford sort of early afternoon. I'd say that's a good 9 miles easily we've got to do, so it could be a tough day tomorrow. We're going to have to collect some water on the way before we get out to the marshes and the River Ald. Logistically, the next couple of sections are the toughest of the coast path, just because there's hardly any little villages and stuff about. Those you have to come off the path for like 2 miles and stuff, and we just don't want to be doing that really. But we've got enough food. It's just having the water to cook it with and stuff is the issue. That was day 4 of the Suffolk Coast Path. Thanks for watching, and check out, was it part 5 we're on now? I don't know. Check out day 5 anyway, tomorrow, where we'll be hopefully doing stage 6, the Orford Loop, which is going to be about 13.5 miles or maybe a little bit more. Who knows? Cheers for watching. Enough yawning. I'll see you in the morning. Night, everyone. Night, Dawn.
Alright.
Thank you.